y'all's questions.
Okay, well, let's start with your name first of all.
Brandon Winkenwerder, Assistant Chief of Police, Brandon Winkenwerder.
Chief of,
Operations, Assistant Chief of Police Operations.
okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and just rehash then.
Right. On Friday evening, start that one over. On Friday evening at approximately 6:37 p.m., officers from the San Marcos Police Department responded to Uptown Square Apartments at 1345 Thorpe Lane in report of a shooting. Multiple callers advised that a victim was shot in the parking lot of the complex. Witnesses provided a description of the shooter and the vehicle that he had left in. Officers arriving on scene were able to administer first aid to the victim, apply several tourniquets, and get EMS to transport him out immediately. The victim was transported to Seton Hayes Medical Center, where he later died from his injuries. The victim is identified as Nicholas Devon White, born January 30th of 1998. He was pronounced dead by Justice of the Peace Maggie Moreno, and the Travis County Medical Examiner will be conducting an autopsy into his death. Detectives and crime scene investigators with the San Marcos Police Department begin the process of processing the large scene and numerous witnesses. One witness stated that he was there to meet the shooting victim at the apartment complex for a narcotics transaction. While at the complex, the victim and the witness were, while at the apartment complex, the victim and the witness, while at the apartment complex, the witness saw the victim and Jones, while at the apartment complex, the witness saw Jones and the victim. I didn't name Jones yet, have I? That's our suspect, hang on. While at the complex, the victim was confronted by the suspect, who produced a handgun and shot the victim. That was observed by a witness. Leads were developed from the witness description of the shooter and from surveillance video at the entrance and exits of the apartment complex. From the vehicle description, detectives were able to obtain a license plate that eventually led to the development of a suspect, Andrew Stephen Jones. Jones's residence was located at the Point San Marcos Apartments at 417 North Comanche Street. Surveillance was established and conducted on that residence. On Saturday morning, April 6th, at approximately 5:36 a.m., San Marcos Hays County SWAT team utilized explosive breaches to serve a search and arrest warrant at the residence of the suspect. Nearby residents were notified of the operation prior to phone and were evacuated safely beforehand. After a thorough search, the suspect was not located. There is an active arrest warrant for murder for Jones. Anyone having information as to the whereabouts should contact the San Marcos Police Department at 512-753-2108 or Detective Patrick Aubrey at 512-753-2306. He is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached by the general public.
How many people were hit? Did you say?
One victim.
Oh, just one victim.
One
Okay.
victim is we had witnesses, multiple witnesses.
Oh, okay, I thought I heard you say that there were multiple.
One victim, multiple gunshots.
Okay.
One victim, multiple gunshots, multiple witnesses.
Okay, so it does look like, well, you said this was a possible drug deal gone.
It looks like, based on the information we were receiving, it looks like a narcotics transaction gone wrong.
Okay, so they obviously knew each other somehow.
Yes.
Okay. Were any of the other tenants in the apartment complex at risk?
No, everything
you know,
took place in the parking lot.
took place in the parking lot.
Yes.
So there could have been.
It could have been any number of innocent bystanders on something like that, but right now, we only have that one victim.
Okay.
We don't expect any other victims.
Right. Talk to us about using an explosive to take down the door.
That's a common SWAT tactic, and I can't go into a lot of details because that's unique to their operation.
Right. But can you talk to us about the decision to use that?
That when you have a suspect with a murder warrant, that type of tactic is commonplace.
And you did notify surrounding tenants that.
That's part of their operation is to notify surrounding tenants to pull those people away from that area when they're gonna have that type of operation.
Okay.
Just out of curiosity, are any of these apartments like student housing or anything like that?
They're all kinds. You get regular people who have jobs, you have people who are students. I mean, they house everybody. They're not just one or the other.
Do you know Mr. Jones has a history of?
I do not know his history right now.
Okay.
Can you divulge if you suspect he's still in town or somewhere else, or?
We don't know at this time. We've searched, from the information we had, we searched where his residence was, and that's the only thing we have at this time. Is he in town? I don't know. Did he get out of town? That's possible too. Anything's a possibility. It is a nationwide extradition murder warrant for him.
Are you
That's-
following any specific leads?
There's no specific leads at this time. We're gonna ask for any information to be given to us by the public when they spot him.
A follow-up to his question, is there any outside agencies that are helping along?
Not at this time, but I'm assuming, since this all happened over the weekend, I'm assuming as this goes on, if we don't find him by someone calling him in this weekend, by Monday, we're probably gonna have some outside assistance.
Some folks are gonna be a little bit jittery, understandably so. Is there gonna be any increased patrols in that part of town by chance?
We've got everybody on the lookout for him right now, and it happened in one part of town, and he lived in another part of town, so we're gonna be watching all of those areas in between. And it's very possible that this person, if he's not laying low, may show up somewhere in the public, may see him. It just happenstance, because that's how some of these are solved sometimes.
I suppose.
I think we're good.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, sir.
I made my own notes and I totally screwed up that thing, because I thought I'd named him earlier, but I hadn't named him yet. I'm sorry
That's
about
fine.
that.